Moving on to the news.
News with the podcast guys. Happy birthday, Dizzy.
Happy birthday, Diz.
Happy Billy Heath Day.
All right, first item on the list. Sony calls Until Dawn a sleeper hit, addresses lack of marketing. This is an article from IGN. It says the overwhelming positive reaction to Until Dawn came as a pleasant surprise to Sony, according to SCE Worldwide Studios boss Shuhei Yoshida. In fact, the Sony exec went so far as to call the Supermassive Games PS4 exclusive a sleeper hit. Quote, "We can say it's a sleeper hit once it's recognized originating with consumers. The marketing department can continue to support the title through Christmas with some creative ideas. I'm very happy with how the game was received." End quote. Until Dawn's success, however, wasn't a result of a major marketing push from Sony, as the PlayStation manufacturer didn't advertise the game very much at all. Yoshida explained the reason behind this decision, pointing to its focus on promoting third-party titles this holiday season. Quote, "People have asked me why it wasn't marketed as much as other titles. It's a decision made by marketing departments in each region because of the focus on this Christmas time frame to really support the big third-party titles like Destiny and these titles. They didn't see the need to push Until Dawn that much from the platform marketing standpoint." All right, this was very interesting to me. We've played Until Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
And we all really, really thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Probably too much.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, as far as at least PlayStation exclusives go this year, it's hands down my favorite PlayStation 4 exclusive that we've seen. So I think it's a little curious that they didn't put the marketing behind this. And this game's been in development since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was designed on the PS3, it was supposed to,
as a Move title, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to run with the Move in mind, and so I think they got pretty close to it being done for the PS3, and then decided to push it over to the PlayStation 4. So this thing's been in development for 5 years, and so why you wouldn't put the marketing cost behind it to try to make up some of that money is beyond me. So what, as you guys saw that article, read that story, what were your thoughts?
It's typical. Like we've talked about it many times. Sony seems to be like the worst business model in the world. They just they make a handheld and they stop supporting the handheld seems like very quickly. But they never really supported it much to begin with in terms of creating first party or even third party titles for it. But it's the Vita. We're expecting it with Project Morpheus, things like that. And then you don't really create many first-party titles, but when you do, you don't advertise them.
Yeah, and that's the weird part to me is like,
especially this season when it's like there are none, and this is the one.
Yeah, 2015 isn't the year. Like next year, we're gonna have Uncharted 4. We're probably gonna have what's the one from the Killzone developer?
It
just totally slipped my mind. You remember what it's called?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. We're gonna have more exclusive titles come next year for this thing, and so it would make sense then if one of the titles got lost in the mix. But like nothing released around Until Dawn, and it released in a very odd place. Releasing in August, being a horror game, like it would have made more sense for it to come out around this time.
And but the flip side of that coin is that could be either a brilliant decision to not market it, or it could just be an oversight that worked out really, really well. It seems like Sony has some really great luck that way. It's really cool when like a little horror game comes out and no one really expects much of it, but it ends up blowing everything away. And this is something that works really well with horror films or horror genres in general because they tend to be low budget things that kind of blow up. Think of basically any tropey horror movie you've ever seen, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, things like that. They tend to develop huge cult followings.
But then think about the horror today that has been very successful in the box offices. You have like the Paranormal series, and even when the first one of those came out, like it was commercials on TV constantly for it. I think of a Sinister, like the very first Sinister movie, it was all over TV. Then you have what's the one that we really like? That we just went and saw the third one.
Insidious.
Yeah, Insidious. Yeah. That one was all over TV when it was getting marketed. Like, it's not smart in a world where there is so much media saturation and to not put yourself out there in a way where people can find you easily. And I feel like people didn't find Until Dawn easy. It really took a word of mouth kind of thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And with Until Dawn, like we talked about this before, it's very tropey. It's all the things that sometimes we look down on horror for, but this game makes it work. And I think it speaks volumes about the game that even though Sony didn't see the need to market it, and that was maybe not the best decision, the game is good enough on its own that people are loving it, people are being drawn to it, and it deserves every bit of that.
Yeah. My fear within it, though, is that Sony sees this and they're like, well, when we launch a new series, like is Horizon's going to get that very same treatment when it launches?
I think that it will get, because it seems to be more of a blockbuster game. Until Dawn, I wouldn't really consider it like a AAA, of course, because it's its first release. Again, it wasn't advertised like a AAA, but something coming from Guerrilla did Killzone, right?
Yeah,
that's the studio. Something coming from Guerrilla. I see them advertising the crap out of this.
Yeah, well, but think about Until Dawn and the amount of voice actors that it took, and these are not like no-name people. I mean, they're not like mega superstars or anything. Hayden Panettiere is a pretty famous person, but the other people are famous in their own manner. Like this game, I would love to know how much this game cost to make. And
it couldn't have been cheap.
It was all, and it's only a sleeper hit, Shuhei, because you put it in a position to be a sleeper. They had nothing else coming out around it. Like, pour some resources into it. It would have been great to see a bundle.
That's what confuses me about the whole focus on the holidays quote. Like, it wasn't really released anywhere where it would interfere in the holiday window.
Because he brought up the only game he mentioned specifically was Destiny, and the Taken King launched a couple weeks ago. That's not in the holiday window. A holiday window, I imagine, starts around October and in November, and there's really nothing that Sony has that's kind of marquee except for the Uncharted collection. But it's a collection, That's not some new IP, and it all stems back to exactly what you said. Like they send this stuff out into the wild, and they're like, well, just based on its own merit, it'll find its way, and then they're shocked when one of them actually does, like Until Dawn did, because they've had so many other things they've let out into the wild that just have fallen by the wayside.